All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're breaking down the career of Karren Brady. And look, this isn't just another success story. What we're talking about here is a literal blueprint, a repeatable formula for building an empire, all based on strategic resilience and an absolute relentless drive for dominance.
This quote, you've got to understand, this is the core operating system behind everything she's ever done. It's not about being delusional. It's about a fundamental refusal to accept no as a final answer. For her, no is just the starting point for finding a different way forward.
So, in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct that very mindset. We're going to get into the mechanics of how she weaponized that one simple idea to build a career that's just defined by power and influence. You know, every great empire starts with a single internal decision. For Brady, the foundation of her power wasn't some fancy business plan or university degree. It was this deeply defiant mindset that she built from day one. And that brings us to the core concept here, autonomy. Let's be really clear, this isn't just some teenage rebellion. It's a conscious, strategic choice to have absolute self-ownership. It's a deep commitment to being the one and only architect of your own destiny.
So how does this defiance actually work in the real world? Well, you can think of it like psychological armor. It completely insulates you from the fear of rejection. It lets you walk into hostile boardrooms with this unshakable composure. But most importantly, it reframes every single no not as a personal failure, but as a simple mechanical problem that just needs a different solution. Okay, so a defiant mindset is the foundation, right? But you can't build an empire on attitude alone. The next phase is all about the architecture. It's about channeling that raw energy into a structured tactical plan for your ascent.
And you can see how the process works. It's a clear progression. First, she harnessed her independence. Then, she used that to build a rigorous plan. That plan put her in a position to master high-stakes negotiation. And then, she leveraged those wins to forge a reputation that was just unshakable. See? Each step builds on the last, systematically turning that internal drive into real-world power.
Ambition, that sets the destination. But persistence, that's the vehicle. And that right there is the key. You can have the grandest vision in the world, but it's totally useless without the relentless, disciplined execution, the daily grind, to actually make it real.
So, you've got the mindset, you've got the plan. How did she actually apply it? Well, this is where we get into her strategy for market dominance. And this wasn't about playing the game better than her rivals. It was about fundamentally rewriting the rules of the game itself.
The turnaround of Birmingham City Football Club is the ultimate case study. I mean, at just 23 years old, she took over a club that was literally in receivership, on the brink of total collapse. And she didn't just balance the books, she completely revolutionized its commercial strategy, turning it from a financial dumpster fire into a profitable, competitive powerhouse. This is where the legend was born.
Now here's the absolute core of her strategy. See, most people, they focus on being the best in a market that already exists. Brady's goal was completely different, to be the only one. That is a massive shift in thinking. It means you stop competing by the old rules and you start creating your own game, your own market. And in her own words, this really is the end game of market dominance. It's not just about winning the race. It's about carving out a space so unique to you that you become the sole authority. You effectively make all your competition completely irrelevant.
But hey, market dominance isn't the final destination. The last stage of this blueprint is all about legacy. It's that critical shift from just personal success to lasting significance. It's where your focus moves from building your own empire to creating an impact that's going to outlive you.
And this is her philosophy on what true leadership actually is. See, it's not about how many followers you can collect. It's about active mentorship. It's about empowerment. It's about using your power to forge the next generation of leaders. Your real impact is measured by the success of the people you've helped elevate.
So when you boil it all down, the defiance, the ambition, the strategy, the dominance, it all comes together into one core mission, creating a blueprint that unlocks the potential in other people.
This quote just captures her ultimate ambition perfectly, doesn't it? The goal isn't personal immortality, it's about creating self-sustaining systems of excellence, companies, cultures, mindsets that are going to keep creating value long after you're gone.
So as we wrap this up, the final question really isn't about Karren Brady's blueprint. It's about yours. We've seen how defiance, ambition, and strategy can come together to build an empire. The real question is, what blueprint are you building?